Last week I was raided by the FBI and my house was searched over some January 6th allegations. I guess the FBI called Liberty Safes, and Liberty Safes gave them a master code to get into my gun safe. I didn't even know that was a thing, and I'd come home to see that my safe is open after I got out of jail. So pretty crazy. I didn't know safe companies would do that. So I feel like a lot of our gun safes are not actually safe.
This controversy sort of manifested initially with Apple and Samsung. Apple was essentially saying, no, you know what? The cell phones and the locking codes and the personal protection privacies on all those different types of things, those are the owners. And that's the same thing taking place here. You've got a safe and you have somebody who's buying a safe would have a reasonable belief that the only person who would have the ability to control access to it would be the owner. In this particular context, it looks as though Liberty Safe may have become, whether inadvertently or candidly on purpose, an agent of the state. At a very basic level, for those of you who don't know, there was an individual that owned a Liberty Safe and was being investigated as being one of the January 6th trespassers. The FBI got a search warrant to search his home. Evidently, they also wanted to search the contents of the safe that he owned. They provided a copy of the search warrant to Liberty Safe, and Liberty Safe provided them the master code to be able to get in that safe. There's a lot of real problematic aspects of this. Liberty Safe took the position that, well, we had a valid search warrant presented to us, therefore we would go ahead and we would assist law enforcement in being able to get into the safe. I don't know that it was really Liberty Safe's within their ballpark in order to do this to begin with. It's not their property. Right? It's the gun owner's property, the safe owner's property would probably be a better way of describing it. Guys, I'm going to pause this video for a moment. So USCCA is doing a giveaway. It's incredibly cool, and you're going to want to participate. It ends soon. Now, you can learn all about it in the description located below this video. But like I said, time is of the essence. You're going to want to click on that and learn all about it. All right, let's get back to the video. This controversy sort of manifested initially with Apple and Samsung. Apple was essentially saying, no, you know what? The cell phones and the locking codes and the personal protection privacies on all those different types of things, those are the owners. And that's the same thing taking place here. You've got a safe and you have somebody who's buying a safe would have a reasonable belief that the only person who would have the ability to control access to it would be the owner. In this particular context, it looks as though Liberty Safe may have become, whether inadvertently or candidly on purpose, an agent of the state. Now, there was evidently a valid warrant, although that in and of itself becomes somewhat interesting because warrants oftentimes are not sort of prima facie valid. They're challengeable, and there may very well have been legal defenses that the owner could have tried to marshal to keep the authorities from being able to see what was ever in that safe. He was foreclosed of being able to exercise any of those defenses because some third party provided access. Now, there's been a lot of controversy associated with this. The most recent thing I heard is that a number of people are canceling their orders with Liberty Safe, and that's totally understandable. And Liberty Safe has been kind of fueling fire on this themselves by putting out a statement saying that they're always prepared to assist law enforcement. Well, as you can imagine, especially with somebody who's being accused of participating in the January 6th trespasses, that in and of itself has a political connotation. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, there's still a lot more fallout, but there are calls for boycotts of Liberty Safe. The most recent thing I heard was people want to turn Liberty Safe into the Bud Light of gun safes. And again, it's completely understandable. I find it really, really problematic just on a personal side. I think that if you own property, you are the one who should have control of your property. And you shouldn't be worried that some third party that originally created your property could turn over all access to a law enforcement agency against your consent. So we'll have to see. I mean, like I said, this is still sort of an ongoing story. And like all these things, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of extra twists and turns. Again, guys, if you need to contact me, you could always do so. My email address is steven@artemishq.com. As always, train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.
Before you go, you just missed one of our best videos that got over 500,000 views. Click right here to watch it now.